hairy legs that turn, that.
Welcome to Certified Based, the common sense podcast where liberals crash out.
Never get tired of that scream, ever. Welcome back to Certified Base, the place where liberals
crash out.
Oh, I know we didn't have an episode last week. Don't worry, we're not going away. Those of you that are like, yes, they finally stopped. Nope.
We're back.
We're back. This is episode what? I think 10 now?
Yeah. And we're never going to stop.
Nope.
Yeah. Never. It was my birthday last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We could have had a birthday episode, but, we had other plans. It was a well-spent birthday party. Birthday weekend, I guess.
Yes, we did. We definitely had lots of fun.
It was a good time. How was your week so far?
Lots of freaking rain, dude. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost flooding some areas.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. The flooding has been absolutely. I mean, not here. Luckily, my house isn't flooded, but it's been a couple of areas around the region that have definitely flooded very bad. Yeah, nonstop rain. No more tornadoes. I think we definitely are out of the woods. Some areas we're not. I got to see a tornado live in North Dakota. Massive tornado, because you guys know I'm fascinated by tornadoes, and we do have a video where we reacted to tornadoes on our channel if you're ever curious about seeing it. But I think we're out of the woods in tornado season, but there was one massive one. But luckily, none in our area. I know there was the span of a couple weeks where we were checking our radar every day because there was a chance that we could get hit by something.
I'm still checking my radar just in case. Cause
I like checking the radar. I like learning how to read the radar.
Yeah.
You learn how to. You're able to almost know, okay, we're probably gonna have a storm today.
Yeah.
And now that I know how to read radar and I can see, where storms are at,
Yeah.
I've actually been able to predict. I'm it's probably gonna be stormy.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm right.
It's especially helpful for me when I'm on the road and I'm going south or different areas where I'm not familiar with, where there's different weather. I can I'll be checking in, make sure I'm gonna hit some rain, or especially this week there's so much rain. It was crazy on the roads, and
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was just, but I could you could see on the radar the big blips, and then then you look and there's the big old clouds, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, definitely been no hail though, which is surprising. Normally I'd be expecting hail.
Yeah.
A little bit of wind, probably had some maybe 70 mile per hour winds, nothing crazy. Really just a lot of freaking just precipitation.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
And it's been all over the country. We'll get to it later in the show, but
yeah,
some more flooding that's been happening.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, and then it comes the humidity.
Yeah, it's been humid here. We live in a desert, so we're not really used to it. We're used to the dryness and.
Yeah.
So the humidity is.
But when the humidity hits, when it's 100 degrees plus humidity, oh my God. I feel like I'm going to die just walking outside. I feel like if I don't, I'm going to suffocate.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of minutes being outside. It's horrible.
Oh, yeah, it's awful. It's awful. Yeah. Well, how was the rest of your week?
Good. Yeah, good.
Weather,
Good.
yeah.
Just chilling, man. Just been chilling lately. Enjoying the summertime. I mean, I love the time. I just hate the weather.
Uh-huh.
I don't like 100-degree weather. I don't. I would much rather it be 30 degrees. I would much rather it be 30, 35 degrees than for it to be 100. I will take that any day of the freaking week. I'll grill steaks in 35-degree weather.
I don't know about 35. I'll go maybe 60, 50, 60 or in that range.
Yeah.
I'm not. I used to love the cold, and because I would always say you can get warmer a lot faster than if you're trying to cool down. But lately, I don't know if I'm just getting older. I just can't take the cold.
I don't know. I still prefer the wintertime. Wintertime's my favorite.
Yeah, I do love the season, when it's fall and the different colors come out. It's fun.
I love fall, kind of once we hit end of September and we start getting to October, and then on, it's kind of
the birds.
It's the best time of the year. That's what they call it. I think the best time of the year starts in October and extends on.
Yeah, for me it's fun. Yeah, like September starts cooling down, and like November or October, November, December. But then once it hits January, the new year, and in February, and it's still cold, I'm just like,
Yeah. That's the
get out of
drag of
here.
that's the drag of the year, bro. I feel like the year drags the beginning and then it just freaking goes fast,
Yeah,
bro. Like, oh my gosh, we're in July already. It's
yeah,
insane. We started this podcast when March, or April.
I think so.
Man, it's like
Woo.
time has flown by like freaking crazy.
Yeah,
And this week we had 4th of July. Of
yeah,
course, America. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure liberals were like foaming at the mouth on July 4th. Oh my gosh, it's a day that represents Nazis, Nazis.
hmm Oh yeah, bro. Tell me about it.
Oh my god, bro.
It's fun. I mean, I don't know. It just didn't like feel as celebrated as it was. Like, I don't know,
Yeah,
this year is
I
just
agree.
like, I don't know if it was like because locally, like we didn't like, you know,
Yeah,
typically have like big fireworks shows, and
I
locally there was nothing happening.
I think what I've noticed though, as America as a whole, as a culture, social media, I feel like it was more celebrated this year than it has been the last couple years. Especially because we noticed that kind of Pride Month kind of took a back seat this year.
Hmm
Especially because the culture has shifted a lot. In the last 12 months, it has big time. I
Yeah,
feel like Pride Month took a back seat, and
it
definitely people didn't like that.
it really did.
Yeah, I mean, look at Target. It took a back seat. Bro, you and I walked into Target. We're out on your birthday weekend, and we
Hmm
noticed all the America stuff everywhere. Target had to make a shift
Yeah.
because people were pissed off about the stuff they were trying to do.
hmm
So I feel like a lot of corporations really took an America theme this year because they just know how the majority of America feels. And like I said, Pride Month took a back seat.
It did.
Um, so I feel like it was a little celebrated more this year. I feel like I didn't see as many like um, TikToks as I seen in the last couple like years, like talking about how why 4th of July is bad, why it's bad, why America is bad, blah 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 blah.
Hmm
And we do have a clip that I want to show you because unfortunately, guys, we live in the day and age in America where we don't even know why the hell we celebrate 4th of July. Like, it's not that hard. If you're watching this show and you're like, I truly don't know, let me explain to you. It's very simple.
Class time. Rudy's a teacher, so this is gonna be a class
Oh,
time with Rudy. Let's
look,
hear it.
listen, okay? It's very simple. America was under tyrannical rule by England at the time, okay? And obviously, high taxes. We didn't want to live under a monarchy because that's what it was. We lived under a monarchy. And the colonists at the time, I think that's what they call them, right? If that's the correct term.
Yeah.
The colonists, obviously, the original 13 colonies, the original 13 states.
Not the colonists we get called.
Oh yeah,
now.
oh my, you're a colonist, not the one that liberals say, but the colonists of the time. The people that were living over here. And obviously, the reason why they hated Britain so much, they wanted to get away from Britain, is because Britain was on the other side of the world at the time, and to get to the other side of the world, it took a long time because obviously there was no planes; it had to be by boat. They were like, they don't know what's going on over here. They shouldn't rule us. We should be able to rule ourselves. They should go back to the other side of the world and be over there. Um, so kind of long story short, they wanted to get off. They wanted Britain to get off their back and have their own country. Obviously, we had a war, the Revolutionary War, 1776. Around that time, we had a war with Britain, and we won. And it was a war that we should have not won at all because
Mhm.
Britain was the most powerful army on the planet at the time. And me as a Christian and lots of other Christians agree that really that war was a miracle of God. Really, that war was a miracle that
Yeah.
America won. And Christians like myself believe that God kind of put America, kind of gave America its birth for such a time as this, to lead the world and be the influence of the world. And obviously, I feel like that influence has kind of been a tug of war of which side has an influence
Yeah.
in America. And I feel like, there's, of course, if anything's going to be destroyed, it's going to start from the inside out. I mean, look at how divided we are now. But that's long story short, in case you don't know how we got our independence, or why we
Yeah.
celebrate the 4th of July in the
That's
first place.
that's why we shoot fireworks in the sky, cause of America, freaking. But yeah, I remember in school being like that was like my favorite like subject to get taught. I think it was like what grade was it? I think it was like 5th or 6th grade when I was like that. My history teacher was, I don't know. She was really good.
Was she conservative? Probably.
I don't know. I mean, look, thinking back, probably just the way. Yeah, probably. But like that was my favorite subject. It was like when we got to the Revolutionary War, because like they really did like paint it like we were the underdogs. We shouldn't have won. Like
Yeah.
we're the 13 colonies against this huge empire
Mm-hmm.
over in the east, and just the miraculous part of it. And yeah, people don't realize like that was like
No.
our founding fathers, like all the heroes of America. That's
You know, the guys
that's
like Benjamin Franklin,
yeah.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all those cats.
Bro, I wonder how much people don't know who Paul Revere is. How
Oh, yeah,
much
Paul Revere.
Americans do you think?
Probably
his-
none. Probably like I would say like 5% of Americans know who Paul Revere is.
Yeah.
The British are coming. The British are coming. You
Yeah.
know, that's like his famous line. It's
Yeah.
Paul Revere right there.
Yeah,
Bro, I'm a history junkie. History was one of my favorite. History and math.
Sam.
Don't ask me
not
why.
math, not math.
Don't ask me why. But history and math, those were my two subjects in school. I loved U.S. history, especially U.S. history. World War II is one of like my favorite like eras of history. Like I know so many facts about World War II.
Mhm.
Like watch, I'll give you a random fact. Let's see if I blow Atreo's mind. Did you know, Atreo, that in World War One, Hitler was almost killed.
I actually do know this.
Hitler had a British soldier, I think it was a British
Oh,
soldier, had an
not this one.
opportunity to take out Adolf Hitler, and
Really?
he let him walk away.
Really? Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's how the story is. So can you
Okay.
imagine what kind of like what world we would have been living in? How the world would be like if that British soldier decided to just take him out?
Bro, I wonder if that British soldier lived long, hopefully lived long, and then he
He's
lived
like,
this.
wow, what did I do?
Yeah.
I let this guy walk, and then look what happens.
He's just trying to show a little humanity in war, and he let bro.
Did you
What
know?
are the
Did you know
odds?
that?
I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a random fact that I know about the two world wars is that Hitler actually there was a very good chance he didn't even live to see World War II,
Dang.
or didn't even live to see the end of World War One because he fought on the I don't know which army. I think it was the German army that took him in. I don't know if there's a different army that took him in
Yeah.
before that. I don't remember because he's not even from Germany. It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember being showed this video in history class. You know, like the videos where they do like the reenactments of war.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is a real story, but I remember watching this in this video. It was like it was supposed to be historically accurate. I mean, they're showing us in school,
Mhm.
but it was it was kind of explaining how Hitler got his mustache.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard it? I don't,
I think so, but I might have like forgot. You
I
have
don't-
to refresh my memory.
Y'all need to fact check me. I don't know. This is just a memory I have of what I saw. It was so he was in the war, obviously. He was in the military. And they were getting mustard gassed. And he originally had a big old like regular mustache.
Yeah.
And then they got mustard gas. He was in the trenches and he tried to put on his gas mask. But
Oh yeah.
his mustache
I
was
remember now.
covering it, so he had to cut it, shave it, and then that's kind of why
Yeah.
he has the small little one.
The infamous mustache.
Yeah,
The
the Hit-
infamous one. Yes.
This might get we might get shadow banned just by saying Hitler so much.
Oh I know.
Oh well.
Oh my God.
If you
It's
see
world
this video-
history. It's world history.
yeah,
It's part of history. Yes, he was a horrible man, terrible guy.
yeah,
But he's part of history. It's why we're talking about him because the facts like that fact that British soldier had the chance to take him out.
yeah.
Like how different would our world history would have been
He almost died multiple times. Like
if
yeah,
that British soldier would have taken that opportunity and taken him out?
yeah.
Like how much different history would be.
It would be very much different.
And we're talking about this history right now.
We're not glorifying him.
No,
guys.
we're not. We're not glorifying. We're just presenting the facts of how who he was and things like that. Because a lot of people, people are uninformed, and the same people that are uninformed, that's where they throw those phrases around. They don't know the definition of the phrases, but they love to throw them around. Speaking of uninformed people, we have people in our own country that are uninformed that don't know why we celebrate 4th of July. Here's the thing. Hot take right now. This is gonna be a quick.
Go.
I'm about to piss a bunch of people off. I do not care. Here's how I see it. Because here's the thing. To become a citizen, to become a naturalized citizen, there's a lot of things you have to do. You have to take an exam. It involves some history. you have to know some history of the country for you to become a citizen. And I feel like, honestly, you should take that exam. If you're born here in the United States and you're a natural born citizen, I feel like to vote, before you get your voter ID card, before you get your voter registration, you should take an exam. And you should be able to at least know the basic history of our government. Know the 3 branches of government. I can tell you them right now. Easy. Executive, the legislative, and judicial. Those are the 3 branches of government. If you can't tell me what the 3 branches of government are, you should not vote. If you can't tell me who the first president of the United States is, you should not vote. And I'm about to show you this clip so you can see what I'm getting at, because that's how we end up with stupid policies, because we've got stupid people who don't know nothing about how the government works voting. Here we go.
Play the clip. Yeah. Let's go.
You celebrating 4th of July?
Yes, I do.
And what do we celebrate on the 4th of July?
Independence.
What started it?
It's a good start.
I'm not too sure.
No.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
It started because we broke away from a certain country, right?
Yeah.
Right. What country was that?
No way,
You don't know.
bro. Oh,
Just surrenders.
my
What
God.
Just white flag. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, bro, it's just look. Just chat GPT. Just chat GPT that mess. It'll tell you.
What's kind of concerning is like these are like older people, like maybe like mid-20s to 30s. Like what was it like? What school did they go to? What were they not being taught?
Like, you need to go. Like, you need to have your high school diploma revoked. You don't know that, bro. Like, what?
Where are these people getting? Like, we live in a state with like we're like the bottom of like education wise, but somehow, I mean, I still know some of this stuff. I mean, I'm not claiming to be the smartest person.
Yeah, but still,
I know some basics.
I feel like when I was in school, I was taught to love America.
Yeah,
That's the thing. I feel like now we're teaching kids to hate America. That's why they don't know any of this stuff.
What country did we declare independence from to create this great country?
Oh, God. This is bad. This is bad of me.
Ready for the 4th of July?
Yeah, we are.
What country did we declare independence from?
America.
Huh?
Africa.
Did he just say America?
He's just resorted to
Oh.
saying America.
Oh, my.
America.
America.
Oh, man.
What's that?
I forgot.
You forgot.
You forgot.
Okay. What year was the Declaration of Independence signed?
1856.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. You're about 100 years too late, buddy.
1856.
1856?
Oh.
Oh, my God. Oh, no. We're cooked, guys. We're cooked.
Or 1756.
1756.
All right, he's closer.
Maybe.
He's closer.
When John Wilkes Booth and Karl Marx signed the Declaration of Independence to start this.
Not John Wilkes Booth, bro.
Okay. So a little history, another fun fact. John Wilkes Booth, he's messing with him, of course, because he's saying if
Who'd he
anybody will
kill?
correct him. If he would have asked me, I would have corrected him. So first of all, John Wilkes Booth is a dude that took out Abraham Lincoln, right? And Karl Marx, that's the Lord and Savior of the leftist lunatics. That's the Lord and Savior. Karl Marx is a communist.
This country. What year was that?
1492.
Oh, 1492.
Nah, this dude's just trolling. 1490.
2000.
Year one.
Year one. America's 2025 years old,
Didn't-
guys.
Jesus signed it. Didn't he?
Jesus.
Well, that is a date in history, but it's not when there was a certain document that was signed that started this country. What was that?
I don't remember when the Declaration of Independence was signed. It's probably 1600 somewhere.
When Lee
That's
Harvey
closer.
Oswald and Karl Marx signed the Declaration of Independence to start this great country. What year was that?
I'm assuming the 1800s.
You're just assuming. Okay.
Yeah, I
Anything
don't know.
else?
I'm not a history person.
Obviously.
Obviously not.
I don't remember, honestly.
No.
No.
Oh my God, bro.
Bro, that is
Guys,
that
we're
is
cooked.
concerning.
We're cooked. And this is my prime example. These people vote. They're so they don't even know the
Yeah.
basic history of America, and they're gonna vote, bro.
Yeah. But
Like, what?
I wonder like what the percentage of like, because I'm sure he asked a lot of people, and some didn't make the cut. I wonder like what the average was of how much people he asked. Like if it was like one in every like 30 people, that might not be bad. But if it was like two every 10 people or something, or like every person he asked, like what?
Even if it's like, let's say if it's uh 4 out of every 10 people that are clueless.
That's concern.
That means only 60% of America
Yeah.
knows basic history. If it's
Yeah.
4 out of every 10 people are like this, that's like 40%. Again,
Yeah.
that means only 60% of America know. That's, bro.
Bro.
I'm telling you, hot take. That's gonna piss a lot of people. Oh my God, you're trying to take people's voters. No, you need to know basic. You need to know what you're voting for. If you don't even know basic American history, how the government works, why should you vote?
Yeah.
Why should you be in charge of our policies if you don't even know how the government works? Why should we give you the power to dictate what happens in America?
Yeah. How do you think like what the question should be? Like, should it be like basic, like kind of like the citizenship test, or like the basic knowledge, or
Literally take the test that you give to people who want to be a naturalized citizen. Take that exam and give it to them.
okay.
Or even if you want to make a new one, I think you should at least be able to name 5 presidents. You should at least be able to name 5 presidents. You should at least be able to know who the first president is, when America was founded, why we celebrate 4th of July.
Okay.
You should
That's
be-
very basic. I mean,
Yeah, it's very basic.
Yeah,
It's
especially if
easy,
you're
bro.
like, growing up in this country, man. Like,
Name the 3 branches of government and their basic functions.
yeah. But it really falls on the education system.
Yeah. How many Supreme
failed it
Court
is.
justices are there? I think you should know
I
that.
don't know that one.
There's 9. 9
Okay.
Supreme Court justices.
I don't. I don't know like the purpose like Senate, Congress, all like that type of stuff.
The Senate one's really easy. The Senate, there's 2 Senates. That one's easy because that one is very that one is set in stone. It's static. So every 2 states has 2 senators that represent the state. So that's why we have 100 senators. 100, because there's 50 states and obviously there's 2 per every state.
2 every state. Okay.
So that's why you have 100 senators. House of Representatives, I think it's like 400 and something. That number changes, so I'm not like exactly, but it's like 400 and something because that one goes by your jurisdiction. Like that's why California has so many freaking representatives because it's freaking California, of course.
Is it like population?
Yes, it's based on population. So that's why like California, Texas, Florida, like New York, they have
That's why
tons and amount of representatives.
we have like 4 or something, like some low number, because we got like no
small
people
states.
here.
Yeah, small states have a much smaller number. So that's why like that. So that's why I like the Electoral College. People who don't know how the Electoral College works, people are like, we should remove the Electoral College.
Yeah, explain that.
Yeah.
Explain that there.
So
buddy.
the Electoral College, if you were to remove that, that would be horrendous because L.A. and New York would dictate the government. They would dictate who is president every single time. Hell no.
how so? I guess.
How is it like? How does the Electoral College work?
Yeah, like. And
So-
how would it?
So
If it got rid of it, how would it?
I mean, if you got rid of it, that's
How would those 2 places dictate?
because they have the most population out of everybody. They would completely steamroll the whole country, and when it comes to votes, they would have the majority. It would be always by majority. So let's say that let's say all the libs, we placed them all in California or New York, and they just voted in that area. They would completely hold the majority all the time, because if you kind of spread out everybody else out,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of here's the thing with a popular vote. This is how Trump won the first time. Trump lost the popular vote the first time. That's why that would have been dangerous, because if Hillary Clinton would have won, that means the like California and New York would have dictated her being president. Rather, Trump being elected by the Electoral College is because when you win a state, when you win the majority of the votes in the state, you get electoral votes.
Okay.
So essentially, the electoral votes, I think how they add up the electoral votes is I think the number of representatives plus senators equal that amount of electoral votes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So that's like.
So California has 55. So essentially, 55. The number 55 consists of the representatives and the senators.
So if you got rid of the Electoral College, it would just be on popular vote.
just be on.
And then wherever has the most people to vote. That
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Okay. That
Right.
makes sense why the libs want to get rid of it.
Yeah, and you give those smaller like rural areas a voice.
Yeah.
You give them a voice.
Yeah.
Instead of just the big cities having a voice, you give those little small rural towns in America a voice as well. Because a small town in rural America could shift the entire election.
Yeah.
Because
Well, we saw this past one.
yeah.
With like, I mean, just even looking at the map with like my no knowledge mind of like how like red California was, like the rest of the state, obviously the big cities, LA, San Francisco, they're deep blue, but you really see like the rural parts be a little more red, and it's giving them a voice.
Yeah, it's giving them a voice, but it still sucks because the majority of them all live in LA. So really, you see how that just if you take California, California's a great example. Which sucks. LA is blue every time, even if the majority of all the rural areas are voting Republican and LA votes blue. Well, LA has freaking millions of people, and the rural areas don't. So the rural areas lose every time. Could you imagine if that was spread out to the entire country? How bad that would be?
Yeah, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'd be
See that?
horrible.
Yeah.
The small towns wouldn't have a voice.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the electoral college. It's a great system. The only reason why liberals hate it is because they only like it whenever they win. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You only like it whenever your side wins. It's a whole my team versus your team. Again, we always go back to that. Yeah. My side's got to win, and I don't like the rules because my side lost. I'm like, oh my god.
I'm tired of that freaking
mentality.
I see it. It's everywhere, bro.
Yes, it gets worse and worse. It seems like, bro. I'm like,
but it's a correlation of the more and more you listen to, the more and more you're on the internet.
Oh.
We got our phrase.
We got our. This is the slogan. We got to put it on our shirt. When we have
Yeah.
our first merch drop, it's gonna be part of the shirt. Here,
Yeah.
Get off the internet.
Yep. That's a antidote to the my team versus your team.
Yes, dude.
But also feeding into it is watching the mainstream news and
yes.
all you got.
Get off the internet. Turn off your TV.
Yep.
If I just watch MS. If you're watching MSNBC, that's MS brain rot. That's what it is. MS brain rot.
What does Trump say? MSDNC.
MSDNC. That's freaking brain rot. You got CNN, Clown News Network. Turn that garbage off. Turn off Fox News. I'm not. You remember me saying I don't even watch Fox News. I don't even like Fox News half the time. Turn off Fox News. Get off the internet.
And turn off Fox. Turn off both sides. And like, if you like,
do some research.
Yeah, if you really care about this stuff, I believe you should find the most biased resource, or go to the left and right, and then come there's always the truth is always somewhere in the middle.
Or listen to somebody. I don't know. People are like, he's biased. He's biased. So yeah, the only people that say he's biased is because because he's not part of their cult. Someone like Joe Rogan.
He's a great example.
He's a great example.
He's a great person. Like, he has his takes on like either opinion, but he really was. He was a liberal most of his life.
He's not a cultist. That's the thing. He's not a cultist. He's not a robot.
Yeah.
Like some people are. Some people are just flat out robots.
Yeah. I think that's a great solution to this. This is just so they just feed into it. They just eat it and then they spit it out. I've been guilty of just the same thing.
Yeah. Well, look. Okay, so this is the great that we're on this because now we can kind of segue into this. So I kind of want to touch base on Trump's big beautiful bill that just passed.
Okay.
We know that's the bill that kind of Elon was pissed off about, which I can see some concerns. And then I see why Trump does it the way he does it. One big, beautiful bill. It's one big bill. And people don't like big bills because there's a lot of fluff, and they fit in a lot of crap in there that shouldn't be in there. But I feel like the reason why Trump had to do it, the one big, beautiful bill, is because they don't have a lot of time to get things done in the first place. He's going to be he's not a one-term president, but he's only got 4 years, and he's out of there. Like, he can't run again. I know as much as he jokes around, and people take it literally that he's going to run for third term, he's not going to run for a third term. Okay, this is it. He's got 4 years, and he's done. So he has to. He's trying to keep his campaign promises as much as he can, which he did because the bill passed. And no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. And here's the problem that liberals have that I see all the freaking time. Trump wants to cut Social Security. He wants to get rid of it. How does he want to get rid of it when you don't have to pay taxes on your Social Security? What kind of person is not going to want that? That's a no-brainer. No tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. How do you feel about that, Atreo?
No tax. No tax. I sign me up. Whatever.
Whatever, no tax
No
is, sign
tax.
me up.
Yeah, whatever. I'm down. Freaking. Yeah.
But then you're going to have somebody,
It's obvious.
well, it's bad. It's bad because it's Trump. So you're going to say you'd rather not have tax. You'd rather be taxed like crazy on your overtime because Trump put the bill out or because Republicans put the bill out. You'd rather have a big tax on your overtime and big tax on Social Security. You would rather be taxed than to give credit to Trump because and the Republicans because they passed this bill. Again, that my team versus it's rotting your brain. Stop. It's actually beneficial for you. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. It's a no-brainer. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, those. I mean, but it was voted on unanimous or. What's the word?
I think one of them like
Forgot the
one of the parts of it because it's a big freaking
But the tax
it's
like
a process.
both like
I think
Dems and Republicans they
Yeah.
all voted
yeah, I think there was
unanimously. That's the word I was looking.
yeah, there's I think it was the no tax on tips and overtime. I think that was like a unanimous.
Yeah,
vote,
everybody. I
that
mean,
part of
everybody
it.
could get behind that one.
Yeah, here's the thing. How can you not get behind that one? Like if you can't get behind that one simply because one side of the team presented it, then it just goes to show how dumb you are. Like how rotted your brain is
Mm-hmm.
with this my team versus your team mentality. You have a problem with that. When one side represents something that's good for you, you don't like. You'd rather like the whole Iran thing. I'd rather Iran have a nuclear weapon than for Trump to be able to take their ability away to have a
Mhm.
nuclear weapon. Like what?
Yeah, I'm still behind the opinion that a lot of the people that hate Trump is it's more other reasons than like his political prowess and how
Almost
good
like
he
it's
is.
personal.
It
Like,
is.
bro,
A lot of it is very personal, and they can't get over that, and they can't. They have a hard time celebrating the good things for the country just because they see this almost Hitler figure
They'd rather
in the
go
way.
they'd rather the country go to hell than for it to get better
Or-
under this
Yeah,
guy.
or they
I
just
don't
have a
get it.
negative view of it because it's under him. Like, oh, it's going down. Like it's kind of the same way how we were with Biden. Like with Biden, like we had a very valid reason because he obviously wasn't in charge and
Yeah.
he was
The auto pay.
compromised. But it's the same thing. And but yeah, it's I chat GPT some like the good things and bad things
Mhm.
of the
Go ahead.
big
Go
beautiful
ahead.
bill.
us.
Obviously, the good ones were the major tax cuts. Rudy covered very good. Support for small business and investments. Maintains full expensing of capital investments, aiding domestic manufacturers and small firms. So good, like small businesses and
Helping them out.
more domestic manufacturing, which America needs to
Mhm, we do. We need
better
it.
economy.
More stuff needs to be created here
Yes.
in America.
Increased funding for defense and border security. Some people might not agree with that.
I think that is why would we not have better defense and better borders? That's
Yeah.
how we stay alive as a country. That's how we keep our country by upping our defense. We may not ever use it.
Yeah.
We may not ever have to go to war. I'd rather not go to war. I'd
Yeah.
rather not do that. But I would always rather be the most prepared, always be on the edge. We're always ready. Like, you don't ever have to, like, it's like having a firearm, right?
Uh-huh.
God forbid you ever have to use that firearm to protect yourself and your family. But would you rather be in a situation where a situation arises, you're like, dang, I really wish I had a firearm?
Yeah, and you not have it, and
You not
like
have it.
it would really help. Yeah.
It's the basic principle. If it's better to have it and not need it
Then-
than to not have it and need it.
Yep.
That's the whole principle. That's how we run our defense in America.
Yeah.
It's always better to have it and not need it than to not have it and need it.
Yeah. So that was one of them. The next one, or the last one it listed was perks for service workers and seniors. So eliminates income tax on Social Security and tip. That's the one. That was another.
But they're trying to cut Social
Yeah.
Security.
And then what's problematic, which
Okay.
this one is, very problematic. I've been hearing a lot about it. That's like this is the argument against it. I've been hearing
Okay.
and seeing. Massive cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. It says 1 trillion slash for Medicaid and 185 billion from SNAP food aid with a CBO forecast of whatever. I don't know what that means. So yeah, that sounds problematic.
Do you feel like maybe they've slashed it Do you think there's a lot of fraud when it comes to those systems? People that abuse it.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, me,
That's my argument against it. People that are like, "Oh, you're cutting that." I'm like,
yeah.
do you not realize how many people actually exploit the system? It's like
Mhm.
it's like a video game, guys. I'm a gamer. When there's an exploit in a game, what do the devs do?
They patch it.
They patch it.
They patched it.
Exactly.
They
This is
patch it.
exactly what's happening. The government is patching an exploit.
Yeah. I see that. Because I think that whole system is kind of just broken in general.
I feel like a lot of stuff is exploited.
It is exploited, and sometimes it doesn't even work. Like me and my wife were trying to explore these different services,
Mhm.
and I don't know. We didn't have good experience with it, and like maybe they did do it right. Like
I think
maybe we made too much, and that's what they said. We made too much, and we couldn't benefit. So
didn't you tell me that even some of the stuff though? Because I know you have a
we have WIC.
yeah, you have a
'Cause we have
10-month-old daughter,
baby,
right? But didn't you say like the items that were there weren't even like good items? Like,
Yeah.
they were not nutritional.
Yeah, that's an RFK thing, and like like they need because a lot of it is like they give you money to get these certain items, when you have a baby, and some of it like a lot of it was like there was cereal, there were stuff, and like cereal's not nutritional at all,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just a lot of like stuff that wasn't there that should have been there. It should have been like it needs to be reorganized and that stuff.
So now that's exposure of a broken system.
Yeah. It-
Perfect example.
So yeah, people don't like that. I mean, it just sounds bad, like cut it to Medicaid and SNAP, but yeah, people abuse it. It's I don't know. We'll see. New mandatory. I mean, I don't think this mandatory work requirements. 80 hours a month and a 35. Oh wait, that's $35 copay that would kick many off benefits. Okay, so I see it now. It's saying to they're adding new requirements to qualify for Medicaid. And that goes into the people abusing it and
So
okay.
yeah, so that's kind of my argument. That is my argument against it. Is or against I guess my counter argument to that is that yes, I can see how it's problematic, but at the same time, I feel like the reason why we've had to cut some of these programs is because it's been exploited for far too long. Again, I have the mindset of like I said, I'm a gamer, so I think a lot of things in gamer terms. If you're a gamer, you're watching this, and again, it's like an exploit in a video game. If it's exploited and people are doing an exploit, what are the devs going to do?
They patch it.
They patch the exploit.
Okay. Huge growth in federal debt obviously adds 2.4 to 2.8 trillion to the deficit. I mean that sounds very counterproductive of what Doge was doing.
I think one of the things that Trump is banking on, and that he's been in the trust me bro mode for his first 6 months, 7 months in the presidency is the whole tariff thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I saw a clip of him saying, I don't know how credible it is, but he was saying like somebody called him and they were saying like, we got a bunch of money coming in. We got like he said like trillions or something of dollars coming in. He's like, I don't know where it's coming. He's like, tariffs, baby, tariff. So
I mean, if we are making our money off tariffs, then that's how that's gonna.
if that
cover
statement's
that.
true, then it might be working already.
Yeah.
Expanded deportation enforcement programs is just funding ICE.
Yeah, funding us. That's why we got Alligator Alcatraz, which that's going to be our react video for the week. We'll talk about that a little more.
We'll get that. Regressive wealth impact. Wealthiest households may receive up to $290,000 a year. Lower income groups could face losses averaging $1,600. Yeah. So are they not taxing the wealthiest households?
I think the wealthy. Here's the thing that people don't understand. Already, the wealthiest households already pay an enormous amount of tax, bro. Yeah. They already do now. The people that are like, well, what about the wealthiest, bro? The Lord and one of the other Lord and Saviors of the left, George Soros. You don't think he's with the tax bros? You don't think there's a little tax bro community, bro, that they are able to exploit the system and not pay taxes? Like you're like eat the rich. The people that are the people that say eat the rich are the people that are rich and probably know all the loopholes to escape taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Like George Soros.
Do you think
Bill Gates?
Yeah.
You don't think those guys don't know the tax code like that well?
Yeah. They both know it. Because growing up, I heard this all the time. Like, Democrats are poor people, and Republicans are for the wealthy. But to
Doesn't make
me,
any sense to me.
the Democrats have all the wealthy people on their team. They're the ones getting. They're the ones getting funded
Literally.
the most. And they got all the celebrities. They're paying the celebrities millions of dollars to endorse them.
Who do we got? Donald Trump and Elon Musk?
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't buy it.
I don't buy
I
it
feel like
either.
they what's that called? They pander to the poor people a lot
They
more
pander?
to keep them
Yeah.
you know.
To keep them stupid.
Yeah,
Be
keep
like,
'em
you need us.
down.
You need
Yeah.
us. And I'm like, you don't.
Yeah.
It's the same. I feel
It's,
like
it's more victimized
Mhm.
mentality, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You hit it right. I was trying to put words together, and you did it. It's very victimized. You need us. That is the whole message, I feel like, of the Democratic Party that's been for the last several decades. I've noticed it. They do it to the poor, to lower income. They do it to minorities like myself, me being Mexican descent. My mom is a naturalized citizen. My dad, my dad's grandparents are naturalized citizens, and they came here, and then my dad was born here. So my dad was a natural born U.S. citizen, but still, they're always like, you need us. They want to keep everybody like uninformed. They want to make everybody feel stupid. Like poor people, they want to make them feel stupid. Oh, look, poor things. They can't do anything. We gotta help them out. Same thing with minorities. Not just Mexicans, like with what they do with Black America. Oh, they don't even know what the word computer is.
That
Like,
is
bro,
so
that is
crazy.
crazy. Just the fact that people are saying that,
Yeah.
and then you got people like Joe Biden. They're like, if you don't know if you're for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. What?
Yeah, that's wild. That is
Could we
wild.
just let that slide? Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine if Trump said that? Oh my, bro, that'd be in the news cycle for the next 2 years.
I've seen that, yeah. That's very true.
It's insane.
It
Like,
is.
or
They-
like, like the whole deportation thing. Who's gonna clean our toilets? Excuse me? I guess us Mexicans, we're just dirty Mexicans. All we know how to do, we just know how to do roofs. We just know how to do landscaping. And they just eat tacos. Oh my gosh, that's all they know. All they know how to eat is tacos. Oh my
That's all I
bro.
hear people say, like
Pisses
that
me
are
off,
against
bro.
like these ICE raids, and is they're like, I love Mexican. Who's gonna have the food trucks, or who's gonna it's just so like demeaning stuff being said.
The white Karen with short hair,
Yeah.
the boomer, that lives in a freaking 3,000 square foot house. What am I gonna do about Carlos? Carlos ain't gonna be able to do my lawn.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to pay these people enough. We have to pay them under the table, and we have to
No, employers are already doing that.
can
Here's the
avoid
thing:
taxes and yeah.
when
it's
people are
just-
here illegally and they have I have a social security card. Where'd you get that from? You stole someone's identity
Mm,
to get to work, right? The employers need to be punished for that.
yeah, or the business owners are being slimy and under the table stuff.
Under the
like-
table, probably not even paying them what they're supposed to. Maybe
Yeah.
they might be paying him even less.
Well, that's why that's the argument. Like it's cheaper labor.
yeah,
But is
it's
that
exploitation.
it is exactly. That's what it is.
So when you have legal immigration, when you come legally, then you avoid being exploited.
Mm-hmm.
And you're paid the way you're supposed to be paid.
Are Democrats pro exploiting immigrants?
Are
Are
they want them for votes.
Mm,
That's why they want them here so badly. They want them for votes. That's why the borders are wide open, bro.
yeah,
They
I
want it
believe
in
that.
here so they can get some extra votes because they knew they were going to lose against Trump.
I believe that, bro. It's as my team. It's just how you like.
It's the whole
Yes.
my team versus your team mentality.
And where you get your news and I don't like this is I feel like still not the most clear thing with the chat GPT because I feel like it's still a little biased. I mean, it has to have its bias.
That's why I always tell ChatGPT, unbiased. Give me an unbiased perspective.
Yeah.
I always emphasize
Mm-hmm.
the non-biased perspective.
Yeah. So these pros and cons. It's what you make of it, I guess. Is it really gonna affect us? And I think this whole like the bills. Oh, sorry, the whole bill system is still like flawed. Like having these big old things and like very hiding stuff. I don't even think it mentioned AI or like there's a whole AI
No, yeah,
part that
there's
it didn't even mention.
yeah, I guess unrestricted AI. I can see why they're doing the unrestricted AI because I think it's very important that America's at the very, very front. America needs to be at the very, very front of the development of AI. We need to be first. We need to be first place. I think
Yeah.
whenever China did DeepSeek, is that what it's called? I think it's what their AI was
I
called.
think so.
Whenever China did
I don't
theirs,
know.
that was kind of a wake up moment of like America's like, all right, we gotta make ours better. We gotta make ours more advanced. We gotta make ours smarter, because we've talked about even in a couple episodes back. Are we gonna fight? Is the next major war gonna be fought with AI?
Bro, I agree. Like it's a thing that it's a Pandora's box. It's out. Is that what it means? It's
Yeah,
out and you
yeah, it's
can't
out
close
now.
it. Okay.
AI is out.
That's what it is.
That Pandora box is open.
Yeah.
And it's done.
So I think us being ahead, like for national security and obviously against the ops, we should be ahead. But I also go down this very dark like idea, and it's a conversation that needs to be happening of like how like AI, it's kind of becoming like its own entity and its own like I think it's gonna reach this dark place where if when it starts mixing with
Like
humans.
iRobot?
Yeah, but even deeper, like where people are trying to integrate into your consciousness and kind of like Elon's whole thing
Like
is
Neuralink.
yeah, exactly. That's his whole like we're all gonna be hooked up to this hive mind, and your AI self is gonna be much more smarter than you. It's gonna be much more wiser, and you're gonna be able to ask it what you did yesterday and like how you're supposed to react. And I feel like that's a problem with us like Christians and like faith-based people. Like at what line are you gonna cross to like lose your humanity and let like AI totally take over you and become a cyborg? And that's my fear with AI. I think we should do a whole another episode of like going down because
It's funny how we said, well, we wonder what it's gonna be the next time we talk about AI. I'm trying to look for this scene. It's from the SpongeBob movie.
exactly. And I listen to all these like these I guess niche podcasts where they talk about this stuff, but I think AI can be real dangerous, and I want to do a separate episode of this and like
Well, now that we're talking about
the
that,
bad sides of it. Let's see.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is what this reminded me of.
Let's go.
Hold on. Let me make sure it's not too loud. Might be a little bit too loud. So this is a little part from the. This is exactly what I envisioned. Whenever the hive mind right here. I'm gonna fast forward it. This is what's gonna happen. This is from the SpongeBob movie. This is what
Let's
popped
go.
into my head. SpongeBob
Yeah.
reference. I love a SpongeBob. This is gonna happen in the hive
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah. There's Elon Musk. Bro, this movie is. I love this movie.
I know. It's one of the goats.
Yeah, bro. That could be the future, bro.
Was that a great example to
Yes.
use with Neuralink?
Perfect, bro. Because it has the technology part, the bucket, and then the hive mind or like the AI where they're all all connected and he's controlling them. I feel like that's
You think as Christians it's very bad because it could be like, no, don't think about God.
yes, and it's kind of
Don't worship God.
well, it's more of like replacing God, like, and I feel like that's a thing that we need to like think about, like
that's Mark of the Beast, bro. Like,
when-
replacing
like,
God. That's the whole point.
it is, and like,
Ah.
do we go to Jet? Like some people are going to Chat GPT and like having these weird experiences, or like I saw one where like arguing with their wife and like or something, like they give a whole breakdown of like the argument and whatever, and like what should I do or what should my argument be, and like people are going to AI for these like
Bro, people are
topics
using
that
ChatGPT as a therapist.
yes, exactly. Like, are we going to AI more than we're going to God for like some of our problems or like these easy questions, and like are we replacing because it's an all-knowing power. It's like a super Google. It's it's a weird little
It's a good way of looking at it. I mean,
yeah.
bro, I'm gonna be honest. I use ChatGPT for everything. Like literally, I use it to organize my fridge. I was like, how should I organize my fridge? I'm like, take a
Oh.
picture. I'm like,
Mhm.
ChatGPT, got any ideas? Like, yeah, start with this. Do drinks here. Do this there. By the time I was done, I was like, wow,
Mhm.
it's pretty good. What else have I used ChatGPT for? I mean, for like I said, for food, I use it for food all the time. And like it literally, you can. All right, you can literally say, okay, I'm on this diet. Give me a grocery list for this diet and keep it under this dollar amount,
Yeah.
and it'll do it for you. It's
Mhm.
insane.
Yeah. I looked up like I was at the store. I was like, what goes in a typical Italian
Oh yeah,
sandwich?
I saw
You
it.
saw, yeah. And I was like, okay. It gave me the list of ingredients, what they do, typically what they do. It even gave like other suggestions of like some people put this inside of it. I'm like, bro, it's so easy, but like,
Yeah.
will we give up? Like, how much will of your humanity will you give up for like convenience? Very convenient
Yeah.
things. It's and I think that's a human nature of like technology is like the newest thing that's like it's part of us. It's a weird part of our brain.
It's crazy how fast it evolves. I think it's the fastest form or the fastest evolving form of technology I think we've ever seen.
I think so.
How
Yeah.
quickly it's evolved. We talked about it a couple episodes back with the Will Smith video. How in 2023 it just looked like a complete slob,
Hmm.
and then this year with Google VEO 3, now you're like, okay, this is gonna really start. This is gonna fool a lot of people. If you're not in the realm of AI, if you're yourself are not keeping up in the AI world, you are gonna be completely fooled.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I always go back to this like thought of is it good like to because we have like our I was listening to this podcast. We have like our Amish side of like very like you know building, very human, the more animal part of ourselves of like building, being stinky, having all the biological stuff. But then we have the fascination with the technology. We have like our cyborg part, I guess, like where we love the new technology, the new computers, the new AI, and like I feel like we need to find a good balance of that and like not going so much into, because we basically are cyborgs now with our phones in our pockets everywhere. It's part of us, computers, everything.
If you've ever played the video game Cyberpunk,
That's
that's exactly where our society is headed to. Like
yes.
I've played Cyberpunk a lot, and the more I've played it, I'm like, dang, we are headed in this direction as a society
Mhm.
so fast. It's
Mhm.
insane.
And there's a in the lore. I'm super fascinated in it. Like
That's
played the
Cyberpunk,
games,
yeah.
I watched the anime, I read a book,
Yeah.
but like there's a whole it's called like they call like the cybernetic stuff Chrome.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But like there's a thing where you go where people are like they put too much into their body, like all like advanced lungs, jumping, whatever, sight or like eyes, and like they do it too much where it starts driving them crazy and they go like they start losing their mind, they start hallucinating, and they eventually go crazy and end up killing a lot of people and then dying themselves.
That's
I
like
feel like
destruction.
yeah, and I feel like
Self-destruct.
if we go too much into that, we'll lose our humanity altogether, and this AI god or whatever it is will be ruling over people, and maybe it's the Antichrist, maybe that's like the one world government and religion,
Yeah.
and it gets real,
Definitely.
and
It all falls into
yeah,
place, bro.
it does, and I feel like you can't ignore like the technological advances that we're seeing, and the correlations and like revelations and stuff, and
Yeah.
I feel like we're headed there, but I just think we need to not remember our, Amish side and like the bare bones
Yeah. I think there's definitely a
fundamentalist, I
balance.
guess.
I think it's definitely a fair
Yeah.
balance. I feel like technology, we need to use it to like what makes stuff more convenient, what makes things more efficient. And what I mean by efficient is that it'll make us more efficient, so we don't have to waste as much time. We don't have to do stuff that's such a waste of time.
Hmm.
So we're able to do more human things, which is spend time with our families, better ourselves as
Yeah.
humans. Have more time to be with God, spend more
Hmm.
time with God. So more fit. So using technology to our advantage to make things more efficient so that we can do the more human things.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it, yeah. So we
I
don't
think it's a good
forget
balance.
the ancient ways and like the ways we've always done things.
Mhm.
Because I feel like that's in our DNA and it's what people, people who like when we went to that. I don't know if we can mention the country we went to, but do you think we can?
Yeah. Why not?
We went to India for a mission trip. Those people like they lived a lot poorer, but they had nothing but time. Like, that's what they always said. We have money here in America, but they have time. They're really like connected with like, scavenging themselves.
They're even closer as a family.
Yeah, like are those people happier than us living in these very modern, civilizations? Living on top of each other.
What are the divorce rates in India compared to
Yeah.
America? What is it? Is technology separating us as humans? Is it driving up divorce rates? Are families more united? Are families
Yeah.
not united? Speaking of divorce rates, there is this show that has taken the
Good,
internet by
good.
storm.
That's a good one.
By
That's
storm.
That's a good transition.
Because this is talking about how we're losing our humanity and we're forgetting basic principles of that God created us with, and one of them is, what is love?
Ooh.
Do we even know what love is?
You hear this thrown around left and right. We gotta love people. We gotta do it with love.
Love always wins,
What
guys.
What is love? What is it?
We don't know what
Is it
the hell
on
it
an
is, bro.
island? Is it an island
Is it
itself?
on an island?
What is it?
Those of you that have been living under a rock, if you're not on social media, this freaking show has taken the world by storm, taking our wives by storm, actually, because they're freaking driven to
Taking their
watch it with
minds.
them. Yes, taking their
This
minds.
is that verse we read. They're freaking. Those creeping into their house. They're taking them. But no, it's we're talking about Love Island, guys.
Love Island UFC.
The hit show.
Oh my
It's been
God.
going all over. I'm sure if you guys on social media, TikTok, it's I saw them in this dude on my Twitter feed. He was gassing up XQC. He said he was like a 30-month like subscriber to XQC.
Oh
So it's
my
everywhere, guys. You want to give an explanation for those who don't know what
So-
Love Island is?
Quick explanation of what Love Island is. So Love Island, essentially, you gather all these people, right? They're searching for love, right? They're wanting to find love, and they get all put in this villa in the middle of nowhere, no phones, no internet, no contact with the outside world, and they're supposed to explore their connections, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, it's like this massive. I can't say this word, but it starts with an O and it ends with a Y. O and with the Y. I'm gonna let you figure that one out.
Yeah. It's
And that's pretty much what this island is. It's insane.
It's a group of, I don't know what the number is, like, what's it?
Some people went home from the last episode
Yeah.
from what my wife and I watched. I think it was like
What was the original number? Like, how much guys and girls? I don't know.
might be like 8 couples, maybe 16 people.
Yeah, so yeah,
Ish.
8 guys, 8 girls. But yeah,
I think that's the
their
number. Maybe wrong, but
their task is to find love.
find love. But at the end, they try people. They literally try each other out. They're literally like passing each other on,
a crazy
kissing each other. It's disgusting, bro. One of the dudes had a big blistered on his lip, bro. And
Really?
I was like, bro.
Oh.
You thought the pandemic that came out of Wuhan came out of that lab. The next pandemic's coming out of that island.
It's coming out of Fiji. I think that's where they're at. Yeah, it's and they're like, because I've seen these shows, like a couple, like I don't know if you heard Too Hot to Handle. It's like the same thing, but they can't like be physical with each other.
Oh.
But
No,
this one, the goal is like they find like, obviously they find people good for TV. It's gonna be entertaining.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel like they find
nice
them.
looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice body. You know what I realized though is that
What's that?
why isn't there any fat people on it?
It's not very body positivity. Come
Yeah,
on.
that's what I'm
We
saying.
should start a petition to cancel Love Island.
Cancel Love Island. There's not any fat people on it.
Yeah, they're not diverse enough. But yeah, their goal is like to find the most like promiscuous, raunchy people to like. It's good entertainment. They're smart with it.
Promiscuous
like,
Island.
But there was this game. There was a game that they played. It was like a couple episodes long. I only made it a couple episodes in until I.
Before you lost all your brain cells.
Yeah, and I was like, you go ahead, babe. You watch it without me. But this game, they were like, their job was to organize. Like they had a picture of all the contestants, and it was their job to organize the highest to lowest. And the question was the body count. Who had the highest body count organize it highest to the lowest, and like just I was just thinking about like how like some of them were in the hundreds. First of all, like 100,
What?
200, yeah,
No
yeah,
way, bro.
and
How are you proud of that? What?
yeah, yeah. That was
How's
the thing
this-
that blew me away is like seeing them like gassing each other up, like woo. Of course, the
What?
guys are gonna be doing it, but even like the girls were like they're proud of like their high body counts and
That, bro. Oh my. Like how? That's the problem. This is why divorce rates are so high in America.
Mhm,
We champion a high body count.
mhm.
Like how? Like where are we gone as a society that we champion a high body count? And you know what's crazy? This is, people are gonna call me, you're just attacking women. No, this is men and women both. Okay, but I'm gonna start with a woman. I saw this one girl on the whatever podcast. They invite a lot of these promiscuous girls, and they ask them all these
OF girls.
questions. And of course, as liberals would probably call it, it's a misogynist show. Oh my god. Anyways, though, there's this girl who she was an OnlyFans girl, had an enormous body count. And she literally said, "Yeah, I eventually want to settle down and find a man with traditional family values." And I'm like, okay, so you want to have a job where it's to accumulate a body count, show your body off on the internet, where all these guys can, do a certain thing, and I'm not gonna say. It starts with an M, rhymes with Vader. Okay,
Darth Vader,
Darth Vader. Okay, they're Darth Vadering.
Master Vader.
Yeah,
Shout out
Yeah,
our boy.
Master Vader. They're Master Vadering
Shout
to
our boy.
shout out
You
to
know, you know
to
you are.
gamer tag friend of mine. Master Vadering to them on the internet, and then so probably millions of dudes have probably Vadered to you, and then you want to find a dude with traditional family values. So traditional family values, me as a man, when I think about traditional family values, right, is you're saving yourself for that woman, that one special woman, especially as a Christian man. You're saving yourself for that one special woman because when it comes to being intimate, it's a special thing. It's only for one person and one person only. That's the person you're supposed to marry, right? You're not supposed to just be handing it out to whoever.
Mhm.
So I'm like, you want to find a man with traditional family values, but you want to live this promiscuous life. And then they pretty much told her, yeah, good luck. You're never gonna find a man like that. And then she got all upset, like, what do you mean I can't find him? Like, what kind of guy's gonna want to be with somebody like that? I'm sorry.
Mhm. That's facts. It's a very like God intended it to make be a very sacred, intimate thing, special thing. Like He
Yes.
gave it to us. Like it's such a amazing thing.
It's supposed to be good.
Yeah,
It's
and
supposed to be
shared
great.
with your significant other that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, and
Yes.
it's the enemy just made it
Perverted.
He perverted it, and it's the thing he does the best.
Mhm.
He perverted it, and like it's a thing people indulge in. They don't take it. They don't hold it to this holiness thing that or godly
No.
thing that we should, and that's how we get the. Because I feel like obviously you're leaving like your physical connection. There's also risk in that being around, and you don't know what people got, but also the spiritual ties. I feel like
Who knows
whenever.
what they got on Love Island, bro? Like, I'm like, oh my.
Uh-huh.
They're all. Here's the thing. All the guys are shirtless half the time, and obviously they're shirtless because the dudes. I mean, they're all a bunch of gym bros. They all work out. They all had like. Here's the thing. They all got the body.
Well, they don't know what the intention is of
Yeah,
the show.
exactly.
You're going there. You're a bunch of
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah, and all the girls are always in bikinis, like
Yeah.
90% of the time. So of course, it's always eye candy for all these guys. And all these guys are dumb. They're not even thinking about, I'm gonna find love. No, they're thinking about, ooh, who can I get?
And
Who
the-
can I get with tonight?
And they all share beds. When you get in a couple, you get to share a bed with them. What happens that it's very designed, and that's like a very dystopian thing of our culture. Is like
How damaging do you think a show is like that to somebody who like really is trying to find love? Or maybe they might even get sadly, they might even get their advice from a show like that.
it's unrealistic. First of all, I mean, because I'm sure like a lot of girls and dudes compare themselves to like these people. Like I don't have that body. I don't look like that. And it could go down a very depressing route. But also like this is what love is. They're saying like all these people they've lived the the HOE lifestyle, So why can't I do it? It's normal. Plenty of people are doing it. It's normal.
People are championing high body counts.
Yeah, and then whenever it's time to settle down or find somebody, and it's like, how are you gonna if you want somebody like a traditional lifestyle, you can't find that equal when you've been living this way, or maybe you've been hurt so many, you've been in so many relationships, you can't even you have trauma, you can't even settle down with somebody anymore, or you hate yourself enough, and it can. I think it's just all negative.
And this is this goes for both men and women.
Yeah. I think guys are the worst at it, to be honest.
Oh yeah, guys are stupid, bro. When it comes to
cheating, so much just cheating goes on, and being unfaithful. It's just.
I mean, guys are just stupid. I mean, guys, when it comes to lust, guys are just dumb. They just see, they see, and they're just like, oh.
Yeah. Yep.
They're lost, bro. They're completely lost. Their brain turns off. That's the problem that men have. Their brain turns off, and it's like, bro, turn your brain on. Use your brain.
Yeah.
Think about it a little harder, and then I think another problem too is that Love Island is, like I said, it's unrealistic, and it shows you to look for love in all of the wrong places.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is for especially I hear this a lot because I feel like men get attacked a lot in this. Whenever women are like, well, men just suck. Men are just horrible. All men just want one thing. No, you're looking for men in all the wrong places, and you keep searching. You keep finding men that just want one thing. Maybe if you stop looking in the wrong places and stop just attracting men that just want one thing, maybe you should carry yourself better, and maybe you should start. You know what would be a great place to find your spouse? Go to church. And this goes for men as well. This goes for men as well. For men that are like, well, women just want to be controlling. Women just want to. It'll stop looking for toxic women. Stop looking for women in the wrong places. Men and women, you want to know where to find love and actually find a spouse? Get your butt in church. And you might say, oh, you're telling people to go to church to find a spouse? That's the wrong reason to go to church. Guess what? You might have that reason to start off with in the first place. And honestly, I don't care. You want to go to church to find a spouse? That's your first reasoning. That's fine, because guess who'll find you there? The Lord will find you there anyways.
Tell him. That's facts.
God will find you there in the midst. Even if you go for the wrong reason, you might be going to find a woman, and God will find you first.
Yep. Might be that message might be specifically for you. You might hear a song.
Exactly.
It's gonna find you there.
You might be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go look for my wife at church. I'm gonna start going to church so I can find my wife. And God's like, yep, good. I want you here. Yeah, let that be your intention, and I will find you here.
You'll find me, and you'll find your wife.
And you'll find your wife. You'll find both things. Same thing for women. You want to start going to. You want to find a man that's actually going to take care of you. You want a man with family traditional values. Guess what? You start going to church. You want to look for a man first, and you might have that intention first, but I promise you the Lord will find you first.
Bro, I found the second part to our slogan. Get off the internet and go to church.
Get off the internet and
That's
go
the
to
shirt.
church. That is the message of this podcast. Get off the internet and go to church. Yeah.
That's
God.
That's the essence of this show. Just found it.
Yeah. Get off the internet and go to church.
And it's a very, going back to the conversation we had with the dystopian future of, but it's how America is so entrained, and even they're even doing voting where you can affect different relationships.
Oh yeah.
It's so
you're literally they're asking America to be matchmakers.
Yeah, we're all kind of part of this hive mind. We're all, interacting with affecting. It's like a game. It's a weird demented game show. I feel like
perverted, bro.
Yeah,
you're literally people could use love and use intimacy to scam their way to money. Essentially,
that's what I feel like a lot of them are doing. They're playing this because we forgot to mention the award is if you find love and the best couple, you get money.
$100,000.
So there's that element.
It's gonna be tax free under the one big beautiful bill.
Yeah, I bet they'll all.
I don't know if that part will be tax free or not, but it could be.
Game show money. I feel like lottery and that stuff should be tax free.
Yeah, honestly,
you're winning.
Honestly.
Yeah, bro, that's the state of 2025. I mean, this show's been around forever, but
yeah, but it just recently took the internet by storm.
Because it's a lot of our generation, they're mine and your age.
Yeah, it's
crazy, it's very entertaining.
They're all my age, and I'm like, what?
They're doing our slang and stuff. It's kind of funny.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm searching for love. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm here home with my wife.
Yeah.
You have a wife and you have a kid.
Yeah, it's still possible. People I don't know. You just
You-
Get off the internet. Go to church.
You know what? You want to know where I found my
Stop.
wife in? Found her in church.
Amen.
Not on the internet.
Amen, brother. Yeah, bro. It's just. Yeah, that's what we've been saying. Get off the internet. All right. Have you heard? Speaking of getting off the internet, I saw while browsing the internet. Trump just dropped because it's all. So it's all about the 250th birthday coming up. When is that? 2026. The 250th birthday.
Might
think.
be. It might be.
But you know that's part of his whole thing right now, and he's saying that they're gonna have a UFC fight at the White House.
Oh no! It's gonna be like a gladiator style fight.
Let's hear from the man himself. This was posted by the UFC page.
Let me see if I can get the audio.
Yeah, we'll get you guys. But yeah.
We're gonna have a UFC
Oh,
my God, that is loud.
there he is. Look.
That is loud as crap. Sorry.
fight.
Oh, that is not the volume. Can I not turn this down?
I
Hold on.
don't know. Oh, bear with us, guys.
Yeah, bear with us. Let me see if I can. I
Yeah.
just don't want to like blow you guys' eardrums off.
Yeah, that should be headphone listeners.
We're gonna have a UFC.
Okay, we're gonna turn this down.
1 second.
It might blur our ears for a little bit, but for your guys' sake, it won't blur your ears.
Yeah.
UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of
Amen.
land there. We're gonna build a little. We're not. Dana's gonna do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're gonna have a UFC fight, championship fight, full
Makachev,
fight,
Makachev.
like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events, but the UFC fight's going to be a big deal too. And
Yeah, so
we're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Bro, that kind of hypes me up, bro. Like I've been seeing.
Can I have like the main fight like in the garden? You know where the garden's at?
I've seen AI images of like being right in the front.
The garden, bro.
Yes.
That'd be so lit, bro.
Bros, like so this made huge MMA news, and everybody's like putting their cards together. McGregor came out saying that he wants to fight. John Jones, he just retired. Of
Who
course,
wants to come out of? All right. Well, you're gonna fight Tom Aspinall,
yeah,
buddy.
that's your first fight.
That's
If you
your
want
first
to come
fight.
back,
You want to come back? You're fighting Tom Aspinall.
yes, exactly, bro. So that's what do you think? What do you think about this?
I think it's freaking awesome. I think a lot of people are gonna be pissed off about it in the first place.
Yes.
I can
Oh,
already
of
hear the
course.
list. Oh my, you're having dogfights at the White House. What kind
Yeah.
of president? He's gonna build a coliseum and people are gonna fight to the death now. Oh my God.
Yeah,
bro.
like UFC already has like this stigma of like very Republican, conservative,
Misogynist,
sport.
hates
Yeah,
women, even though there's women that fight.
yeah, bro.
whatever.
Exactly.
Even though women have their own division.
Yeah.
Actual women, biological women, by the way. We don't. UFC's not like some other MMA branches that let freaking biological men beat the living crap out of women who say, these biological women or men that say that they're women, right?
Yeah.
And they're freaking literally destroying these women in fights and stuff.
No.
So luckily, UFC actually believes in actual women.
Yeah, Dana White is very based. He's a based
Yes.
CEO.
Yes.
But bro, this just got me thinking like what cards like it's gonna be a UFC 300 type card. I feel like.
It's got to be like it's got to be like an all day thing, like an all.
Oh, yeah,
day. It's
it
got to
will
be like
be.
a whole day, like and start early in the morning, and it's just like these amateur fights, and then
Bro,
as the
imagine.
day goes on, we get further and further as we get to the night, and then we get to that main card, and we get
Yeah.
the big boys in.
It's bro from the early prelims to the main card. It has to be bangers, and it has to be mainly. I feel like mainly Americans
Yeah,
on the
mainly
card.
Americans.
I mean, but I don't know. I don't really care. I just want good fights, really.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be bro. Okay, let's say like McGregor, Michael Chandler. That was like the one that's been hyping up for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that fight should happen.
The
first
fight
place,
that we
but-
got hyped up for nothing.
Yeah, but like say McGregor goes out and knocks out Michael Chandler, bro, in front of the White House, bro. He's knocking. Bro, how ashamed do you think Michael Chandler would feel getting knocked out in like the heart of our country? He's an
Yeah.
American.
He loses to Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be crazy, but I don't know. This kind of gets me hyped up, and
yeah.
I hope Dana White, bro. There's just been this whole frustration in the MMA community with Dana White and like giving like the cards, the pay-per-views here in the U.S. have been kind of doo-doo, honestly. Like You know when we see like the Saudi Arabia, the ones overseas, like
Oh,
those
yeah.
cards
Abu
are
Dhabi.
yeah, Abu Dhabi. Those cards are always so stacked. So like the ones we have over here is like you get like these no names on the main card.
I don't know, bro.
Like
Money.
oh, that's what I mean. That's what it is. Dana always
Money.
pandering to that oil, like the
They got
Saudis.
they got that oil money, bro.
They just announced.
I know.
Yeah. They just
Massive money. I'm gonna
yeah.
get called racist for doing that now.
You're good. They just announced the Dubai card, bro, and you know that one's gonna be stacked.
Oh yeah, bro. Dubai card. It's gonna be like the card of all cards.
Yeah, it's gonna be Makachev versus Ilya Taporia or something like. The
That's-
cards out.
after Makachev gets sent back from what did he went to welterweight, right?
Yeah.
I hope he gets, bro. Hope he gets.
Once he gets
sent
knocked
back.
out over there by JDM, he's gonna go back down
Once they
to
send him back down, all right, buddy, you belong back in lightweight. Get out of here.
send him to 155, get his knockout by Ilya. Oh, and he
Oh.
retires. Bye bye. I don't see.
If you guys can't tell yet, Treo doesn't like Dagestani fighters.
I don't. They're so good. I recognize they're so good, but they're just
Boring.
boring, and just they're not fighters. They're not. I don't think they got that warrior spirit. Like whenever it gets tough, they go to the crotch sniffing. Right?
Oh, I know, bro.
I sound like a casual, but I love MMA, UFC, all that. That's the sport I
I like
follow.
seeing knockouts, bro. I like seeing people
Yeah.
getting knocked out. As much as it hurt seeing Oliveira getting knocked out.
Yes, bro.
As much as that hurt.
I still see it in my feed all the time. Just that combo on him, just
Treo and I were we were playing Fortnite together,
yeah.
and we were still in chat. And then we were like, "Oh, the fight's going on," so we both just stayed locked in. We stayed in chat and we just watched it both together. And then we're like, "Wow,
First
we
one.
really just saw that happen."
Yeah, but we're both. Oliveira's my boy, man, and we both were just saw. I knew it was gonna happen. I called it from the beginning. I just didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, but it happened. It definitely happened.
Ilya Taporia is a monster, bro. He's
Crazy.
yeah. I want to see him.
I want him to follow Makachev to the ends of the earth.
Me
to get
too.
him to fight him.
He said that any way he go up to 170 and fight him, he's gonna do it.
He's like, I'm gonna follow you, bro, till you fight me.
Stop running, bro. Stop jonesing him.
I know.
Don't be. He's John Jones and Ilya.
I saw a comment and they're like, John Jones, the GOAT, greatest what is it? Greatest of all I don't know how they did it. But it was like they somehow put Ducker in there, like greatest Ducker of all time.
Greatest of all time, Tom Ducker. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably yeah. He's
Or let's see, GOAT, GOA. Greatest at avoiding Tom. That's what it was.
greatest. Yeah, that's good.
That's what the GOAT. Yeah, GOAT. Greatest at avoiding Tom.
Avoiding Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. There's that whole. That's becoming a term now, like John Jones and John Jones, like ducking is.
Yeah.
If you're ducking, you're a John Jones. That's a bad way to leave your legacy, man.
He was supposed to be the GOAT, and then he ducked. He ducked this fight. That's crazy.
There's I understand calling him the GOAT, but there's a whole lot of asterisks to his career. Like he's failed the most PEDs or most drug tests of all time of the champions.
You ever notice that it's like greatest athletes of all time like always struggle like with substance?
Yeah.
Like they always have their their major flaws.
Oh yeah. Well, he has that stuff, like those type of drugs, but also like steroids.
Oh.
He's failed a lot of
Performance enhancing.
yeah PEDs. So it's kind of his career is not as great as people may think. He's very talented, but there's still some, and then him ending it the way he ended it, it's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of other great fighters that I don't know. He's on a good track to getting there.
Yeah.
Those 3 knockouts, Volk, Holloway, and Oliveira.
Oliveira's crazy, bro. He didn't just knock out Jamoke.
No.
He knocked out 3 big names.
3
bro.
champions, bro. 3 champions.
That's crazy.
Nobody does it to that.
Yeah,
to
that's
them.
crazy. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode today. Next week, I don't know if we might have to pre-record something a little earlier, but we for sure will have a react. So be looking out for that on the channel, and also follow us, Base Certified, on Instagram, TikTok. I don't think there's any other clip place that we have.
No, yeah, Instagram, TikTok. You're on YouTube.
Yes.
Rate us on Spotify or whatever you listen to.
Yes, whatever you listen to.
Share this podcast, please, guys.
Yes.
We're still going strong. We're still new at this. We're developing.
Yes.
Felt like this was a good episode.
Yes.
Hope you
solid.
get some of this.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. This is the place where liberals
Crash out.